Hello students, so we have started with the electronic configuration of elements, how it is being arranged in the orbits K, L, M and N. In K shell, only 2 electrons can be accommodated, then L cell capacity is of 8 and M can accommodate 18 electrons and N shell can accommodate 32 electrons and so on. So this is the maximum capacity of that shell. The electrons in an atom are distributed in the shells according to their maximum capacity. The shell-wise distribution of electron in an atom of an element is called as the electronic configuration of that element. Okay. Each electron has a definite energy as per the shell. If it is first, second, third or fourth and so on. So energy of electron in the subsequent shell goes on increasing with the ordinal number of the shell. The electronic configuration of an element is such that the energy of all the electrons together is the maximum possible one. Electrons get a place in the shells in accordance with the maximum capacity of electron shell in an atom and the increasing order of energy. So yesterday's table we have seen that how many electrons are present with which of the elements. So how to make up with the electronic configuration, let us try to do this today. Suppose, for example, we take carbon. Okay, carbon is having 6 electrons in all. In that case, if we divide these electrons into K, L, M, N shells, what will be the structure of carbon with protons, neutrons in the nucleus? In the outer K shell will have 2 electrons. After that, L shell will accommodate the remaining 4 electrons. Okay, so you can understand that the second shell, that is L shell, is incomplete in case of carbon. It can accommodate some more electrons in its outermost shell. So that way we can identify the valency. How much electrons are less or how much it can accept, that will decide the valency of that element. Okay, valency and electronic configuration are this way interrelated. We can say that now the 2 electrons which carbon can accommodate in its outermost shell, it can borrow from some other element and make a compound with that element. Okay. So for other elements also you can make it that way. For hydrogen, we all know that only 1 electron it is having. So it can accept 1 more electron or it can share its 1 electron with some other element. The concept regarding valency of an element, chemical bond in compound get clarified from the electronic configuration itself. How to write then this electronic configuration? Electronic configuration is written by just putting a comma in between the capacity of every shell. For example, for carbon, as it is having only 6 electrons, 2 electrons in the K shell and 4 electrons in the L shell, and finish. After that, you will not write anything. This is the electronic configuration of carbon. For different elements, the electronic configuration will be different, isn't it? Now, valency of an atom is determined by the configuration of its outermost shell. Now you can see in case of carbon, as example we have taken, outermost orbit is incomplete. Means it can accommodate 8 electrons, but only 4 are there present. So 4 more it can accept, or 4 it can give and share and finish its stability. Now, the outermost shell is therefore called as the valence shell. Now, in case of carbon, this L shell is the valence shell of that element. Okay, and the electrons in the outermost shell are called as the valence electrons. Valence electrons. Are you getting? So in case of carbon, this L shell is the valence shell and these 4 are the valence electrons. Similarly, for other elements also, you can make it up. Now, it can be seen that the valency of an atom is related, directly related to the number of valence electrons in that atom. Okay, now for carbon atom, the valence shell was having only 4 electrons and the valency therefore will be 4. It can share except 4, it can give 4 electrons. Therefore, the valency of carbon will be that much. These elements are chemically inert. Certain elements where the outermost shell is complete. For example, helium, if I take helium, in case of helium, you all know, it has 2 electrons. In that case, if you draw the nucleus with protons and neutrons and only K shell is there with 2 electrons. No need to give electron, no need to take electron. It is stable atom and therefore it is inert. It is not going to go and react with some other element to form a compound because it is inert. It is satisfied in itself. K shell with 2 electrons. Finish. K shell is satisfied. No need to give any electron. No need to take any electron. Okay. This is the smallest example. Therefore, it is called the valency of helium will be 0. Why? Because it is not ready to give an electron, it is not ready to accept an electron. Now, other example that you can take, this completely filled outermost shell will make it stable. Many such examples are there. You can take carbon, neon. Neon is also stable. Its outermost shell, L shell, is having 8 electrons. So it is completely stable. Sodium. In case of sodium, the common salt that you eat, sodium is having total how many electrons? 11 electrons. In case of sodium, if you think, sodium formula is Na. It is having 11 electrons. How to divide? Electronic configuration will be 2 in the K shell, 8 in the L shell, and in M shell we have only 1. Only 1 electron is remaining in its outermost valence shell. Valence shell is having only 1 electron, and that is the valence electron in its atom of sodium. Now here 1 is the valence shell and the valency of sodium is also 1. It can share or give this 1 electron and become stable itself. Okay. From the molecular formula, if you take sodium chloride, your common salt that you eat, NaCl. Now, chlorine, if you will take, you find that chlorine is having in its last shell 7 electrons. Chlorine is having how many electrons? That you have to learn, all of you. Okay, 17 electrons chlorine atom is having. In that case, how to divide? 2, 8 and remaining how much? After 10 is 7. Chlorine is having 7 as its valence electron. 7 electrons in its outermost shell. So it needs 1 electron and sodium wants to shed off this 1 electron, give away, so that it will become stable, and this will accept 1 electron so that chlorine atom will become stable, and this electron will be given away to chlorine, and that way sodium chloride, that is your common salt that you eat daily. Whatever you eat daily, namak dal ke khate hain na sabzi mein, without that you cannot eat your things. So sodium chloride is the formula of your common salt that you eat daily. And here how this compound is formed? Sodium is ready to give 1 electron and chlorine is ready to accept 1 electron. For a kind information, otherwise sodium alone is poisonous and chlorine alone is poisonous. We cannot have this alone, but when they both combine together, become a stable molecule of sodium chloride, it is very necessary for our body. It is no more poisonous for us. So after becoming a compound, you see, total properties have changed. Now this molecule is not going to go and react with someone, okay, because it is stable molecule. You can see chlorine atom also satisfied and sodium also stable by giving away its 1 electron. That way compounds are formed. Now we write the valency of the respective element obtained from them and also their electronic configuration and the number of their valence electron, means outermost electron, in the chart that I shall send you. You can complete it. Okay, so valency of an element is same as the number of its valence electron, that is outermost shell electrons. If this number is 4 or less than 4, on the other hand, when an element has 4 or more valence electrons, the number of electrons by which the octet is short, means in carbon we have seen 4 electrons were less, of completion in the valency of that element. Okay, up till 4 we can give. After that, more 4 we can take. So outermost orbit octet should be completed to make that atom of that element stable anyhow. Okay. Then electronic configuration is directly related to your valency of that element. Now elements having different amount of atoms in their outermost shell will decide how much amount of electrons it can give away or take in. Now, atomic number that is denoted by capital Z. In earlier class, we have seen of an element that is the number of protons present in that atom. Okay, so atomic number of that element can be found out on the basis of electrons present. Hydrogen is having 1 electron and the number of electron in its outermost shell is 1, isn't it? Therefore, the Z value, the proton is also 1 to make it a stable, electrically stable atom. Positive and negative charges should be same. But in case of certain other elements like carbon and sodium, the outermost shell electrons, that is the valence electrons, will be different compared to the atomic number, the Z value, the number of protons present in the nucleus of that shell. Now, the number of electrons of the same element can be given by using these valence electrons. Some of the elements even have certain isotopes. Isotopes are what? They are atoms of the same element, but the value of A, what is A? Addition of protons and neutrons in the nucleus of that atom will be different. The atomic number is a fundamental property of an element and its chemical identity. Some elements in nature have atoms with same atomic number but different mass number. You all know the mass of the atom is constricted to the nucleus of that atom. Such atom of the same element having different mass number are called as isotopes of each other. For example, carbon isotopes C12, C13 and C14 are there. C12, C13, C14 are the isotopes of carbon. Okay, while you all know that carbon is having only 6 electrons in its atom, but the atomic mass number, the total number of protons and neutrons in the nucleus are different in certain different atoms of carbon. Okay, the isotopes have same proton number, but the number of neutrons are going to be different. Protons will be 6, but the number of neutrons will be different, and that gave rise to these number of isotopes of carbon. Okay, hydrogen has 3 isotopes. They have separate names also. Hydrogen isotopes are not called as hydrogen, all of them. Hydrogen is one, another one is deuterium, and third one is tritium. So there are variety of isotopes. Certain isotopes of uranium, you must have heard, they are used in making nuclear products and nuclear fission and productivity of electricity. Uranium-235 is being used. Then radioactive isotope like cobalt-60 are used in medical treatment of fatal diseases like cancer, to give that light they are giving to kill the cancer cells. Then iodine-131 isotope is used in the treatment of goiter, disease of thyroid gland. Then radioactive isotopes are also used for detection of cracks or leakages in the ground pipes. Here sodium 24 isotope is being used. So variety of isotopes are of great use in different products. Nuclear reactors are also utilizing such isotopes. Nuclear reactor is actually a machine that generates electricity on large scale by using atomic energy. In a nuclear reactor, the nuclear energy in atom is released by bringing out nuclear reaction on the nuclear fuels. Okay. For example, nuclear fuel, namely uranium-235, then for bombardment with slow speed of neutrons, the nucleus of isotope uranium-235 undergoes nuclear fission. They break down to form nuclei of two different elements called as krypton and barium. Krypton 92 and barium 141. And 2 to 3 neutrons are being separated. On decreasing the speed, these neutrons bring about fission of more than uranium-235 nuclei. In this way, a chain reaction of nuclear fission takes place and a large amount of nuclear energy, how much dangerous it is released during a chain reaction of fission. The chain reaction is kept under control to prevent the probable explosion. If nuclear explosion is there, then you must have heard about Hiroshima, Nagasaki, that nuclear explosion was done on those land, and even now the people suffer all the time because of this nuclear problem over there. Earthquake also constantly occurring over there. To control this chain reaction in the nuclear reactor, it is necessary to decrease the speed and number of neutrons in the nucleus of that atom. For this purpose, provision is made in a nuclear reactor. What they do? Moderator or controllers they are using. Moderator for purpose, graphite or heavy water is used as moderator, and they reduce the speed of neutrons. So you see, neutrons, we were thinking that they are having no charge and they are useless, but their speed is very dangerous and they can be proved very harmful. Now, controller to reduce the number of neutron by absorbing them, rods of boron, cadmium, beryllium, etc. are being used to control the work of these neutrons. So, these are certain effects and bad effects of neutrons also, and atomic research centers you are working with these isotopes which could be dangerous and explosive. Thorium-232 is also a kind of isotope that can be used, and heat produced in the fission process is taken out by using water as a coolant. Okay. Water is transformed into steam. By means of this steam, turbines are driven and electricity is generated. So for production of electricity also, these isotopes are of great use. So other elements also we can do with the electronic configuration. Their valency can be found out, and then valence, after finding the valency, we can study with their isotopes. Okay, so certain list of elements with their valence electrons and valencies will be sent to you. So enough for the day. We shall discuss question answers in the next class. Bye all of you.